Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. If Taurus is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. Right? And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And wow, the Fool energy. I love when the Fool comes out at the beginning. It means it's going to be a fun reading. We're going to put this into some context, but right away I can see that you are definitely in need of some fun, some frivolousness, some frivolity, just some, things have been too serious, right? This is very serious energy. We need to take things a little bit more lighthearted, I think. And that's how maybe we're going to get to this Nine of Pentacles. But let's see what else is going on. Yeah, we've got the Temperance card. We've got more of this idea of we're battling too hard against something. We've got to just let it go. You know, right away I can see that if we're trying to beat down this brick wall, we need to become light as air and just blow right through it, right? Just as subtle as air might be, to creep through the cracks of that wall rather than trying to bash it down, you know? Let's do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. For that, we're going to select the Waite-Smith Tarot. And this is just one card that we kind of select randomly. Oh, that's not very random. Okay, we're going to use that one. Horse right there on top. And that hopefully will tie everything together and, you know, give us that confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. But the one that flew out was the Five of Swords. So this, again, is more of this idea. We have all this air energy over here as it is. So I can see that we're really fighting something here. We don't want to stop fighting it. We realize that maybe using all of this force, using this kind of bull, Taurus energy to with just raw strength, just push something over. Maybe that's not the best way right now. But anyway, let's look at some of these other cards. We've got, let's see, major, major, major. So we have our trifecta of major arcana. We have some fire, even this art or temperance card is some fire energy. And we have these two fire cards here. We don't have any water except for the Chariot Cancer energy. We do have a lot of air, right? And then we've got a little bit of earth. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to get here. I feel like there's a big wall in front of us, and we're trying to, just through brute strength, force our way through. The major arcana are suggesting perhaps a different method. Okay. So let's see, where should we start? Well, let's start back here this is kind of maybe what originated everything. This is where everything started, maybe with this Knight of Swords. I feel like there was suddenly a problem, right? I feel like this is an obstacle that really just kind of crept up on you. And your first reaction is to just barrel through it, right? To just use your sheer raw strength and push it over. I think this may be, I don't know if this is a relationship difficulty, if this is a work obstacle, if this is something career, something spiritual, something creative. It's really hard to tell. There seems to be this kind of physical component, like a financial component, perhaps. Something that we're fighting against, but it came up very quickly for you. I don't feel like it is a physical wall that we're up against, but I feel like the results of our success here would be something physical, if that makes sense. So this obstacle could really be something to do with the bureaucracy of the company that we work for, right? I mean, we're trying to just get ahead. We're trying to succeed. We're trying to make progress. We're trying to provide for ourselves, for our pets, our plants, our people. It just seems like every step of the way, you're meeting with some resistance. You have to fight for everything, for basic things, right? 5 of Swords, this is what just kind of flew out of the deck. It's like everywhere you turn, there's a battle, right? Everywhere you turn, it seems like there's some energy that you have to contend with, that you always have something to overcome, something to defeat, to continue moving forward. It's like there's no cooperation. We see that even with the rest of this air energy. 7, a 10, the 5, of course. There's no harmony. There's no cooperation, right? Everywhere you turn, you're this kind of, a Knight of Swords is flying at you, and you've got to keep defending yourselves. I think you do a good job at it. I think it's really, you've defeated a lot of opponents. I can see that. But we don't want to fight every step of the way. We don't want this to be our energy all over the place, all day, all night, 24/7. We don't want to feel like everything is a battle, right? With our employer, coworkers, family, friends, right? Our parents, our kids, other drivers on the road, other people on the bike path, whatever. We're not in competition with everybody. Not even direct competition. It's just like people are always fighting. There's just this general disharmony. It's a general friction. Even though we're not direct competitors, there's still this feeling like there's someone to overcome. There's some situation, some difficulty. There's something between us. One of us has to win, the other has to lose. And I don't think you want that mentality anymore. I think we're beginning to realize the 7 of Swords up here at the top of the path of the dove. We're beginning to realize that this way of living in the world is just not working. It's futile, right? Keyword for this card, futility. It just doesn't work. And it won't work. And it's not going to work. It never will work. Probably never has worked. Sure, there's a time and place for battle, for competition. If someone brings the fight to you, well, you've got to defend yourself. If you're in the workplace, yeah, sometimes you have to try to outdo your coworkers so you can get the promotion. So, because we're trying to succeed here. Everybody's just trying to make progress in their lives, in whatever form that is. If it's, whatever your goals are, it doesn't have to be financial, it doesn't have to be career. It's like, the way I feel with this is that, if you're driving in your car, right, and you're going at a leisurely pace, right, you're not speeding, you may be going at the speed limit, maybe a couple miles an hour, over or under. And the cars are just zipping around you. Right? They're going around, they're cutting you off. They seem agitated because you're going so slow. This happens to me all the time, can you tell? So cars will speed around you, and they'll zoom ahead. And you'll slowly arrive at the red light, and you'll pull up right next to the car that zoomed around you. It's like everybody's racing to the next red light. There's no winner here, It's just this competition. People just want to race, There's no real benefit to it. You're not getting anywhere any faster. Maybe it's just fun. Maybe it's a way to release some of this pent-up aggression. We do have a little bit of that with some of this fire energy. I don't think that's your style at all, though. I think you understand that this is kind of a ridiculous way of living. Always be in competition with each other for no real reason, just to do it. That is very much a 5 of Swords. See, even just the imagery, the artwork on this card, it's somebody that just loves to fight. Doesn't matter what it is, everything is a competition. I'm going to race you to the next red light, you know. And it's done in this very kind of, almost an aggressive, agitated kind of way. You're realizing that this is not how you want to exist in the world, right? The Seven of Swords, it's up above everything. This is what you recognize. But down below, we see a Ten of Swords. How do we get out of this, right? How do we exit this constant game? How do we, this constant fight, right? That there always, in every simple thing, there has to be a winner and a loser, you know. How do we exit that? How do we get out of that? Because it feels to me like you're done with this. You're looking for a new way. These two major arcana cards are some of my favorite. I love all the major arcana, but these two especially. You're looking for a new way to travel through life. The Chariot, I mean, that's kind of, I didn't even think about that. It's kind of with that whole driving analogy, right? You're looking for a new way to get where you're going so that you can avoid all of this just ridiculous air energy. All of the ridiculousness, you know? A new way of getting to this. So these obstacles, it's like this brick wall that you, everywhere you turn, you have to now try to push over this brick wall. Well, now we're figuring out a way to not just have to push directly against it. We can do something more subtle. Something that's a little bit non-confrontational, non-coercive, very wu-wei, very Taoist, right? Very martial arts style too, if you think about it. It's just letting those other cars burn out their engines, wear their brakes out, use up all their gas, right? Get agitated and angry while you're just kind of blissfully driving along at a nice, safe, casual speed. You're going to arrive at your destination at the same time, if not sooner, than all of the cars that are racing around you, right? It's a new way of doing things. It's a kind of a disengagement from that. But how does this apply to other places like the workplace or, you know, to a family situation? We've got to try to adapt this subtlety to what we are trying to do. What are we trying to accomplish? The Fool is always looking for new ways to do things, always looking for novelty. The Fool is kind of like literally trying to be the most subtlest breeze that can penetrate through any kind of doorway, any brick wall, any closed door or window shutters. This is the draft that always finds its way into your house, no matter how tightly you shut everything, right? It's just the Fool just kind of just wanders in, just floats in through the door and doesn't know how it did it, right? It's kind of feels like a cartoon kind of thing where somebody just kind of stumbles into this tremendous success or something and they didn't do it on purpose. It was an accident, right? With the Fool, everything's an accident with the Fool. These are the divine accidents. The Fool is kind of the epitome of this non-action, right? Non-coercive action. This wu-wei, this idea that when we try to do something with our conscious mind and we try to make a plan, we make an effort, we have a strategy, right? We expect things to be a certain way. And it's not going to go that way, right? The Fool is not trying to do anything, just does it, right? Isn't so focused on every little movement. It's, you know, kind of this idea when you're driving, you know, you can't pay attention to every little muscle movement. You can't think, okay, now I've got to step on the accelerator a little bit. Nope, let it off and then turn. we can't be conscious of every single movement. But at the same time, you don't want to be a complete fool. You don't want to drive with your eyes closed. Please don't do that. The fool and the sage, very closely related. Sometimes it's hard to tell them apart. The fool is someone driving with their eyes closed, not even holding the wheel. The sage is someone who's driving, holding the wheel, eyes wide open, but not overanalyzing, not micromanaging their own involvement, their own interactions with something, right? They're just experiencing it. They're letting the car and their body and their muscles and their mind just react and respond and drive in this graceful, effortless action, this wu wei. Yeah. So there's the fool and the sage. I think we should be a little bit sage-like. And not only is the air the subtle way to penetrate, like a draft through a doorway, but water also. Water always finds its way. And the chariot here is, again, it's that kind of Cancer energy, that water energy. A new way of traveling. A new way of getting to your destination. This promotion, this family success, maybe it's literally a destination you're driving to, I don't know. Whatever our goals are, I think we're finding new and more subtle ways to get there. We're looking for the easiest path, like the air energy. We're just kind of, we're just testing the structure of the doorway to see where we can just easily slip through, like that draft. And we are just kind of going with the flow, like the water energy. Put enough water into it, eventually, if there is a crack somewhere, the water will start dripping through, right? The water will always find a way through. Water is in some ways the strongest element, right? But it's the most subtle. And the air too. Fire, on the other hand, and this other kind of air, this is not so subtle, right? This is really just, the fire especially, is very obvious. It's very, very blunt, right? Very apparent what it's trying to do. It is literally trying to beat down the brick wall. So we're trying to get here to this Nine of Pentacles. Like everyone, we're just trying to improve our lives. We're trying to alleviate suffering for ourselves and for our loved ones, our pets, our plants, our people. We're trying to raise the collective consciousness, raise the vibration of ourselves, of the world, of the universe. And yes, this is something that we should be able to do in harmony, all as a community, collectively. There's a lot of forces out there that don't want to do that. For whatever reason, they like this kind of 5 and 7 and 10 of swords kind of competition. So wherever we are headed, we have to find new and more subtle ways of interacting with these opposing forces, right? Whatever the brick walls are, whatever those obstacles are, we have to find a new way of getting through them. Now, your general energy, moving to the path of the serpent now, 4 of Wands. 4 of Wands is, I think it's your basic need, right? You want to take your spirit, your consciousness, your soul and spirit, your divine energy, and you want to manifest it in your life. It's that simple. You want to take what's within you, you want to take your spirit, and you want to express it. That's a very fundamental human need, I think. Just the need to exist as we are, right? With our own self, just to be in a natural state of being myself, you know. And it seems like this fundamental need is kind of interrupted, I guess, by a lot of this air energy. This is this is you, again, this is general energy. This is you thinking, look, I'm not asking for much. I'm not trying to take away anyone else's success or good time. I don't want to stop you all from getting to the red light. I just want to be myself and do things the way I want to do them. I'm not interfering with you at all, right? It's a very fundamental need for just the right of existing as you are in your natural state, right? There's a Taoist term for that too. I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's this idea of existing, kind of as we are in ourselves. It's fire and earth. We're not trying to get involved in all of this air complexity stuff. Underneath it all, at the end of the day, I just want to exist as myself and not feel that I'm being pulled into any kind of competition or game or fight or struggle, or that I'm being challenged, for doing that. That's a very, very fundamental thing. And I think this is important for Taurus, especially right now. It's existing as you are in your natural state without interference, right? So the next card is this Temperance card, and this again, this is our relationship with the environment. This goes right along with these other major arcana cards. It's the timing. It's time to temper ourselves. It's time to try to find a new medicine, a new mixture of forces to get to our goal, because all this air just ain't working. All this air just ain't working. We're going to just put that over here. This is all, that's yesterday's news. So now it's time to find a new mixture, a new air-fuel mixture, right, in our carburetor. Sticking with the automobile analogy. It's time to try something different than just the fire. It's time to not just, bash our head against the wall thinking that we're going to get through the wall that way. Yeah, we might, but it's going to hurt, right? There are easier ways. So the art, or temperance, this is, in some ways, this is your appreciation of all of this. As much as we are kind of speaking ill of that air energy, we're thankful that it exists, because it's providing us the opportunity to work on ourselves, to temper ourselves, to become more subtle, to become more as we are in ourselves, to be a little bit more fool, a little bit more chariot. The fool, I said at the beginning, it's time to just take it a little bit more easy, or be a little lighthearted. Don't take it so seriously. Be a little playful with it. Have you ever noticed, like the Zen masters or the Taoist monks or something? They have a very intense sense of humor. They're very silly, at least in my very limited experience. Okay, a sense of humor is a very important component of our psyches, right? Without humor, where would we be? Anyway, so we're appreciating this situation. We're appreciating the world as it is in itself, because this is how the world is in itself right now. We're using that as the opportunity to work on ourselves. So we're not getting mad against the world for being the way it is. We're just saying, this is how it is. I'm going to go ahead and use it, to be part of that, to temper myself, to appreciate the environment for what it is allowing me to do within myself. Yeah, and this is difficult to do. And the next card shows how difficult that is. This is the Four of Swords. This is in the position of what we don't want. We don't want to just be okay with how the world is. I see all of this here now. We're seeing this in a little bit of a different way. Because now I feel like the way of the world, the fact that the world is this way, is the wall that we're trying to fight against. Right? So this is kind of, we're not satisfied with how with this fact of the world. And we don't want to be. This card is all about acceptance. The Four of Swords is asking you to just accept that this is how the world is. Doesn't mean that's how you have to be, right? We're not forced into participating. We could find a way to transcend that, to take it a little bit more lightheartedly, have a sense of humor about it, but find a subtler strategy to get what we want out of life, to get where we want to get in life. But we're being asked to accept the world as it is, because this is how it is. Just like we want to exist how we are in ourselves naturally right now, we have to accept that about the world itself as a collective, as a whole, right? Now, this doesn't mean that we can't speak out against injustice or try to work for change, try to improve the world or be progressive or whatever it is you believe in. If you have social, causes that you are very, very connected with. The cat's here again. Look at that. But this is saying let's not rail against the world in such a way that it is affecting us, right? That it's like we're bashing our head against the brick wall, right? So this is kind of an acceptance of the way things are. Again, not accepting it in the sense of tolerating it or enabling it, right? Or approving of it, but not letting it affect us in that negative way, right? Accepting it as a fact, as a given, and using it as an opportunity for us to develop some different strategies. Yeah. It's air energy. We're being asked to kind of be in the air energy, but not of the air energy. Maybe be in the world, but not of the world. Accept things as they are, but that doesn't mean that we're giving our approval. It's a very difficult situation. It's kind of paradoxical, right? The final card is the Seven of Wands, fire energy. This is really us. This is the energy of us banging our head against the wall. And we're coming to recognize that this is a painful process. We don't want to do this anymore. We don't want to feel like we have to do this or that this is what's required of us. We don't want to feel like this is the only way for us to get to that seven, or to get to that nine of pentacles. We don't want to feel like that's the only way that we can make progress. And it's difficult to see that when we are still immersed in this air energy, when we are still kind of the world, I guess. So the Four, in some ways, is kind of asking us to accept the world as it is, understand that we are part of the world, but also keep a little distance, perhaps. Try to see things from a different perspective, and that, again, is kind of with this major arcana energy. Because this is a fight that you can't win, right? The brick wall will win every time. That's the meaning of this card, in that position. At the end of the day, we can't change the world in that way by just bashing our heads against it, okay? And now, again, I don't know if this is something specific for you in terms of your career, of a relationship, a family thing, a friend thing, or if it's just a general perception that you've had. I don't know where this energy is manifesting for you. But let's look at the mystery card. Move this air energy out of the way. Thank you, little horse, for your help today. I don't want any more air energy, but I feel like it's going to be air. All right? I don't think we need any. No, it's the Ten of Wands. Very much similar, though. I think this is a very apt card right now, because this is the feeling that you are responsible for all of this weight, that you have this burden and this responsibility to fight against this. This is almost it's like, yes, we know that this is futile. We know that this way of living is just, it's not gonna work. We know that bashing our head against the wall is not going to take out the wall. But we kind of feel like that's the only option, right? This is how the world is. We have to play by its rules. We have to play its game, right? If there is always competition, there's always this battle. Maybe it's something at work. Well, you feel like you have to participate. You have to keep doing it. Otherwise, we're not going to make any progress. We're going to go backwards. So this is that idea that I have to try to carry as much as I can because I have to do better than the competition. I have to be stronger, faster. I have to carry more weight. I have to do more work. I have to put in more hours. I have to drive faster, And this is very oppressive. This is the key word for the Ten of Wands, is oppression. It's too much. So we need an exit from this just as we need an exit from the relationship with the universe, the relationship with the world, as it is one of this kind of competition, this very strange, constant battle and competition. The kind of winner-loser mentality that seems to be ubiquitous in every even simplest interaction, right? So again, it's this need for a different strategy. We have to exit this game somehow and find a way to transcend it and be more subtle, like this air and water in these major arcana cards. So the confirmation here is really just kind of talking about the urgency of this, because you are doing yourself a disservice. You are really wearing out your energy. You're not existing as you are naturally if every moment we feel like we have to just put one more of these very heavy, sticks on our back, right? Another branch, another tree branch, another boulder on our backs, because we have to do, better than our neighbor, everyone else. There's everywhere you look, there's competition everywhere. I feel like it's not unique to Taurus, but I feel like this is definitely part of the Taurus vibe right now. So it's something I think we should meditate on for some time. Yeah. We are going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around for that, click on the link in the corner. New readings come out every day at 6 a.m. Chicago time. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the readings. Right. I want to thank you for being here, and thank you for letting me read for you.